What is going on, X Community? Exostomp here, and today, people, we are going to be going over the Aron Post Power Rankings, and joining me is going to be DDA, aka Daddy Darkor, and Galaxy Bomb. Alright, why don't you guys introduce yourself this time?
Hello.
Hey. DDA is back.
As is Galaxy.
Alright, so, number 12. Alright, Aqua. How do you say this?
Regia.
Oh, thank you. This board
works. And once again, disclaimer: Marcy's ranks are not really counted for this scenario. Marcy once again kind of just threw it in a row. So if you see hers randomly weirder compared to the rest of ours, that's the reason. And this is a great example. Every other team ranked to this number 12. I don't think I'm sorry, but I don't think anyone has ever been collectively ranked last from everyone.
Yeah.
This is
congrats.
Oof.
Well, who wants to go first then?
Oof.
Galaxy, you can go first.
So
we actually agree on something for once.
It was a good start. Heracross, that's pretty good. Registeel, wow, okay, that's a nice pick. Gligar, that's a pretty value. You know, it's relatively cheap for what it does. Torcat.
Nice fourth pick.
Kingdra is like, why Guslord? Okay, now we're just falling apart. That's basically how this team went.
Oh my god. I'm just gonna, I feel like Board was able to get a Heracross 7th pick and was like, alright, I got a Heracross. And then Board was like, I don't know what to pick. And then he walks to Google and he hits Pokemon Randomizer and he spins the wheel. And that's what this team feels like. I honestly want to know your thought process while building this team, if there was one, because I feel like you built Mons in, first of all, the weirdest order. Torracat 4th is interesting,
to say the
least. And also just the overall, none of these Mons are actually the same playstyle.
Yeah.
So for example, Heracross is a good breaker, wants some support. Registeel, not the support for Heracross, is a wall. It's better for passive teams and stuff like that. Gligar is a little bit less passive than Registeel, but it's still pretty passive. Torracat, not a Mon. Kingdra, not a Mon. Guzzlord, not a Mon. Venusaur wants a little bit of setup. Alright? It doesn't get Sun because it's banned at low tier. So its value is very limited, which means that you're mostly going to be running either setup or some kind of stall tactic with Leech Seed and Toxic. So it's kind of iffy. Espeon is an okay Mon. I don't know what it's doing here, but it's okay. Haunter's a decent low tier Mon that does offensive damage. The fact that Haunter probably has more merit of being on this team than the rest of this Mons are probably an issue. I don't know why you drafted Porygon 1. And Tracky's okay.
Not on this team.
Yeah. Oof. Honestly, man.
Oof.
You don't have enough free agents.
No, that's not true. I mean, because there's 11 Pokemon on here, maybe you can make a 9-point team.
Yeah, if you drop everything.
Okay, well,
and
the
then
thing is
pick
about
5.
this team is that drops, like, the amount of people,
you could drop as much as you want.
Yeah, dropping does not count to the points, it's the picking up.
Right.
So if you dropped 7 Mons and picked up 5, you could work with that.
Like, if you drop everything, maybe keep, like, Heracross and Gligar, and build a team around that.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, you kind of have to keep Heracross, Registeel, Gligar.
Yeah.
And then maybe keep Hunter, and then drop... Or no, actually, scratch that. Keep Thwacky, and then drop everything.
Oh, yeah, Thwacky would be pretty decent.
Like, Thwacky's actually a decent pick here.
Yeah.
So, Torracat, Kingdra, Guzzlord, Venusaur, Espeon, Hunter, Porygon, out the door. Get yourself an actual water type. Get yourself an actual fire type. Get yourself,
something
ground
that can
type,
defend
a dog type, a
Heracross.
Psychic type, or a Dragon type. Get yourself, like, of the Mons that we mentioned, Registeel, Gligar, and Heracross, and I guess Haunter too, aside from Espeon, those are the only Mons that are even, like, on the board that give you things. For, like, hazards, removal, and, like, in Pivot and Cleric. Like, half of these mons, not only do they not help you with the team, they also just don't give you anything. Period.
Yeah, I don't know
that's
what
really all
they
I
do.
can say on that.
It's good. The speed's good.
Don't.
The speed's
don't.
not even that
The
good.
top 3 mons, first of all hate knockoff. Second of all, 2 of them are not even fully evolved mons.
UVLA.
Yeah, knockoff pro.
Now, I will say
this team has 4 mons that want to run Eviolate, and then 5 or 6 mons that don't want to take knockoff.
I do want to say this real quick before we move on, because we are running out of time here for this team. If you swap Porygon for a cast form, you got Venusaur setting up Sun, you got Kingdra setting up the Rain.
We can move on.
Stop. Just stop.
Alright, let's move on here. We got.
I'm just gonna say right now, if you draft cast form and that's your addition to this team, I will put you lower than Lapras.
13.
I'll do it. Don't make me do it.
Board, we hope you watch this. If you watch this, message DDA and he will help you.
I'll help you out, man. But like,
There's a
I
lot of
will
good
say, one benefit you do have is that you're not the worst team in the league. That is still Lapras.
Yes.
You're just the second worst team in the league.
All right, let's move on here. We got the Portland Lops, Korean Pandas team. They are tied for 10th.
Very clean 11th place for a lot of people.
Yeah, let's just not count
for
Marshy.
other than Marshy, which of course we already said does not count.
I'm just gonna.
We all just have basically
go.
the same thing. That just fixed that. It's just 11.
It's 11th. I'm not counting
literally,
Marshy.
like I think aside from like 2 teams, I think almost exactly what I put.
Did
down
this
is
team
exactly
always have
the order.
Chandelure? I can't remember.
I have no idea. It might have. It might not have.
But,
Unfortunately, I haven't been extremely observant of the transactions at Aron. I made sure to do my rankings after their transactions, so I don't know what their team was per draft.
Breloom is a Pokemon.
It's not, but
Sort
continue.
of. It has 70 speed? I thought it was way faster than that. Alright,
Nope.
this thing sucks.
Says usually Breloom only attacks with priority.
Yes.
All right, so let's break this team apart a little bit. Rhydon Jolly Rocker, not a good start. Another team that's extremely knockoff prone. Chandelure, Xatu, Rhydon itself.
Chandelure needs a lot of support to make it work.
Lantern really doesn't want it. Breloom doesn't want to lose his item either. You're right. Breloom needs a lot of support, and I think Chandelure gives decent support, and that's it. I mean, like, even your ice type resists don't really, or your flying type resists doesn't actually resist flying type, other than Rhydon. Rhydon's really the only one, and I don't know.
Rhydon's really easily exploited.
Yeah, I think the one thing you have over the last team is at least you don't have to drop 7 mons to make it better. You only have to drop 5. So definitely a bigger improvement. Kind of.
I think this team has some merit.
Please try to explain Exo.
It has some great breakers. Okay, Chandelure's a good breaker, especially. Breloom's good physically as a breaker.
Breloom's not a breaker though. Breloom's a setup.
It can break.
It's not even a sweeper.
I've used Choice Band Bullet Seed spam before. It's very fun. It can break.
Oh, great!
It can be both.
One set.
Well, it has superpowers. Anyways, so the thing is, they have 7 points left.
Wait, really?
What?
They can make this team better, and they just didn't.
Okay. Pause. I'm talking to you specifically, Korean. Did you wait for PRs to fix this team? If so, the ball's on you, man. So, bravo on that. But if you're just keeping 7 points because you like the number 7 and you just wanted to keep the points, I don't know what to tell you, man.
You can even a 7-point mom wouldn't even be terrible on this.
Yeah.
Could be. I mean, I'm out of words, man. This is the 3rd worst.
You know what? The problem that I have with this team is that it can be fixed with the points. It just wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, you could obviously still make some. I have to know. that I have to assume that they were waiting for us to shit on the team first, right? Like
I hope so.
I really hope so. And for your information, Korean, if that's not why, don't tell us why. Just say that was why.
yeah, totally.
Pretend. We'll help you out, but God, that's rough. That's rough. If you're new to draft, I understand.
Yeah.
So a few key points. 1, use your damn points. 2, have a mon that's above 100 speed. 3, have a team that's actually good. All right, that's your 3 steps.
Perfect. All right, we're good. Move
All
on.
right,
Three
next.
steps. Next month.
We got Too High, Silent Leche. Okay, so Silent Leche, I've known him for a while. He hasn't been in the draft scene, but he's been around Pokemon servers and stuff. So he's been around, and
is
he
he like a
finally wanted to
VGC
join
player?
draft. So this is gonna be fun. What's up?
Is he a VGC player? Because if he is, I understand why he drafted Sekateka and Cineroth for the first 2 months.
And then Whimsicott. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
and then Whimsicott. Like honestly, like this team screams I came for VGC.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? I don't think so, but I don't. Maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I looked at Stack Attacka and then I said no. In terms of
No.
Here's the thing, right?
that man was
Sekateka is a mod that
terrible.
can work, but you need to basically think of Sekateka as like a separate entity to your team. It can work on your team, but it needs to be just a threat that people have to prep for. It
I think
cannot be your main steel type. It cannot be
Yeah,
the thing you build
exactly.
your team around.
And that's why
This
it's terrible.
team's built around Trick Room.
It has webs.
With webs, I think. I mean, this team has 2 electric
It's
types.
fast. There's 4 bonds that are 100 or over.
Yeah, this team has 2 electric types and 2 water types. I don't know what they do different.
No dragons either.
Uh,
Stack Attack is your
this
steel.
team just literally dies to a ground type with a rock type move.
Edgequick. Okay.
Not even Edgequake. This team dies to like Earthquake and like Rock Throw.
Ancient power.
Rock ancient.
Or Ancient Power. Maybe not Ancient Power just because Mantine's special defense is fucking dummy thick, but like.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
But
is a little
this
rough.
team doesn't die to Edgequake. This team dies to Edge Thunder Punch.
I feel like if you wanted a bulky steel type, there were, I don't know where you were in the picks, like what.
Yeah, it says right there. So
Oh,
they were
okay. So pretty
near the
late.
bottom.
So if Aron picked a bunch of steals as first draft, I could kind of understand it.
I mean, I mean they didn't, but like I can.
Look, I'm trying.
I
I'm
can
trying
do this,
here.
They didn't, but like the Stakataka isn't what I think this team. The problem is, I think the problem this team has is trying to build around a Stakataka, and then doing it poorly.
Fair enough.
Honestly, I don't think there's any other words than that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think one last thing. The Manta, I mean, you guys already said the Manta and Tentacruel kind of feel redundant. Same thing with Electivire, Galvantula. I feel like dropping Evire and either Tentacruel or Mantine, one or the other, and then picking up some Mons that kind of fit the gaps that you're missing, I think you'd be fine. So it's not 11th to 12th because those teams are definitely worse, but
Oh yeah, like
I think this team
bad,
could
but
be
not
a
that
lot
bad.
better.
Yeah.
You only
Like,
have to drop
honestly,
two
like
ones.
this team, like honestly, if you're gonna build a trick room team, then build a trick room team. But don't build a trick room team that's fast. Like you need speed, but not every other mod should be plus 100. And then with webs, it's just I don't know. It's like flip flop for me.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
weird.
All right.
Next team we have is Santa Clara Rose.
Man, why does everyone have the same logo?
Everyone was solid for
Dude,
Aron.
why does all of Aron have the same logo?
Okay, I guess I'll just mention this. I was gonna mention it, but for Aron, we kind of ran out of time to add logos, so they're just gonna be the forged logos, which I apologize, but we kind of want to get these out on time. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
I was
think about it like
saying
this.
Everyone was
man.
very, very even on rankings for Aron compared to other teams.
Aron was really like straightforward because, all right, I'm just gonna be of spoilers. Aron has like 3 decent teams, and then everyone else is a
So mean.
steady incline of okay to worse. So basically, everyone kind of like, all right, this team is slightly better, and we kind of like all relatively agreed, just because a lot of us kind of built the did our tier list at the same time, going, okay, why is any of these teams better than them? Well, because of this one thing. Got it. That's why they're ahead. And I feel like that you're gonna notice that trend of like a lot of these bottom ones really do have a lot of weaknesses, but they have good potential. And honestly,
like a
the
trick
amount
room
of
team.
potential they have is probably the reason they're higher.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a big thing overall.
Speaking of trick room teams, though.
Yes. Speaking of trigger teams, this team did it slightly better, only slightly. You actually have more than one trick room abuser. Good.
Marak and Hatterene are
Um,
really potent there.
you only have one trick group setter, not as good. But you have a trick group setter that has teleport. That's always a plus. You actually have some decent speed, aside from the fact that they jumped craters away from anything else. You go from 115 to 71, which is a let's see, 40
Oof.
plus jump or something like that, like
Yeah.
almost something close to that, which is interesting. Definitely not the best thing. Honchkrow is your only defogger, which means you bring it to every
Ugh.
match or most matches.
And
And
that's
Honchkrow is not a good, reliable defogger. It is
Honchkrow's
not
not a good
tanky.
mod.
yeah,
It's
no.
not tanky. It wants to do damage.
Honchkrow wants
And
to
it
punch
doesn't
things.
even do that fairly well. So
If Honchkrow gets the opportunity, it can, but this team is not built around Honchkrow.
agreed. And I will say that you do have a decent Firewater Grass core. I'll give you that much. Marak, Appleton, Swampert, they work well together. They got each other's weaknesses decently well. I will say though that you draft your first 3 mons all hate knockoff. You gotta be
Ooh.
careful about that.
And that is what your entire team is built around.
And your whole team's core is built off of a knockoff prone team. And I don't think anyone of your mons actually wants to take a knockoff. Honchko definitely can't afford it because then it loses heavy duty boots.
Appleton.
I mean, I guess Appleton can, and maybe Hariyama, but Hariyama's running guts. So I mean, like, I guess after you're burned, you can get rid of it. So-
Why
Yeah, that's the
did
thing.
you?
If it's gonna click, if you're always going to click knockoff against this team, when does Hariyama switch in?
Never.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Amypon's not going to switch it because it doesn't want to lose life orb. So basically, you could guarantee Appleton switching in on the knockoff.
Yeah,
Almost
which is
always.
really
Maybe
scary.
Swampert if you're like wanting to be risky.
If you're
Honchkrow
that
definitely doesn't want
predictable,
to.
yeah, you get
Yeah.
good
So
screwed.
basically, if you're out there,
Sneasel shreds this team
and
basically.
you're having problems prepping against this team, have a knockoff user who knows an ice type move.
Sneasel, go!
Sneasel, go!
Oh God, no.
Wait, what was that? Was that Lariat or was that this team that had that like one
think it was
good team
Larion.
that
Larion,
Sneasel was
yeah.
like the best mon on the team? Oh, that was Larion. Oh, unfortunate. You're lucky. You're lucky, Billy. But yeah, definitely some rooms for improvement though. Like this team can do well.
Yeah. Honchkrow, legit, just lower it down to like Vullaby, and you're better. He's just better.
That's the thing, though.
That's
Like
sad. That's even worse of an Eviolite switch in, and you always take rock damage.
in the Aron vacuum, this team actually might do really well because I don't know if the other teams will have the ability to counter Trick Room or have knockoff available.
Yo, Lich is ready
Yeah.
though with his stack.
Yeah, that's honestly like that is the weird part about Trick Room is if one other team built it, you already don't do as well. And this is also a weird thing is that like yeah, in the scheme of the other Aron teams, given they all have a lot of problems, they could get away with some wins. But when you're thinking about like overall viability, if there's 3 teams that literally just are flat out like a straight up league above in prep time for the rest of the teams, I don't see how this team takes a win off of any 3 of them.
Agreed.
Oh, you want to add anything?
No,
Yeah,
good.
I mean, unless you want to add anything else, I think we can continue.
All right, let's go to the next one. We got the Clammy Cloyters. I didn't change
So what-
them
You
yet.
what
thought
did you
this
do?
team was
Heck,
great.
so what did you do?
All right.
So, let's
So,
hear it.
let me just read. Okay, so
Another anti-stan, I see.
I think this team backs up Entei really nicely. I will say it is pretty slow, okay,
So
but
slow.
Yeah, I
that
mean
can be.
it's so slow that Meowstic
Yeah,
is
I was
fast
looking
speed
at that.
of nothing. It's the fastest spot in this team.
I will say,
Yeah, and half of Entei's speed is wasted because extreme speed is there.
well, okay, hold on. It can be fixed with a simple swap to a few of these mods. The Meowstic feels meh because you already have Klefki for Prankster setup, but it is one of your faster mods. So honestly, I think this team looks fine. It can obviously be switched up. It's good. What is it called? It's defensively good, but offensively, I think it could be worked on, and the speed can be a little bit better. Honestly, the top three are kind of agreed on, but other than that, I kind of just went with my
Hey, I will say though,
Just
if
went
you're
wild.
fighting one of the Trick Room teams, you'll do pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you got two really decent knockoff users, so you got that much going for you. You also have a good abuser in both Dragolgi and Donphan for the Trick Room team, so congrats on that. But yeah, get rid of Meowstic. It literally does not serve a role in this team. You already have a Prankstermon. It doesn't add anything to this team. You don't have Pivot,
Yeah, that's
so
rough.
that might be a thing to look at. Your only rocker's Donphan. Donphan is reliable rocker, but that is a bit of a role compression being the only rocker, so possibly look into that. You like I just feel like you want to take a look at this team, and speed is obviously something to look at as well. But just like you need to decide what this team's going to do when Entei can't win you a game, because I don't think this team has a secondary win condition, unless you get really lucky and they let Scrafty set up.
Hey, you're underestimating Scrafty again.
You know, Scrafty can be can be good, but with a base 58 speed, it needs two D dances to actually reliably sweep a team.
Yep.
And it already has a 4x weakness, and it's already weak to itself. So.
Yep. I do think that I ranked it too high. Now I'm looking at it, but I did rank Aron pretty fast. So I think so did everyone, but
EXO behind the scenes.
Well, okay. Anyways, next one we got
This
is
one is a lot more even.
the Compton Crip
Yeah.
Clubs.
This one everyone
Actually,
kind of
don't
agreed
think this
around
team is
good
that
ones.
bad.
Yeah, on paper, this team looks like it's got good ideas, right? And then you look a little bit closer and you're like, so what does this team do?
Yeah, that's the main thing.
What are you guys talking about? They have two fast mons, and then it just drops from 44 speed. Like, what are you talking about?
And Passimian's usually scarfed, so it
Yeah.
actually drops from 124 to
Garbage.
65.
Garbodors, you're
Carbonor isn't running
yes.
speed.
You're literally this. The trash can is your
yeah.
great
I
divide.
and the main thing is all those mons do not run speed.
At least
You
they'll
will
have
never run
defog.
speed on any of those.
If we're talking about like hitting your check boxes, you have a fire, you have a water, you have a grass, you have a
Okay.
steel, you have a fairy, you have a dragon type.
Sure.
You got your grounded poison, you got your ground type, you got your dark type. You even have a special wall and a physical wall in Mudsteel and
Electric,
Umbreon.
but whatever.
You got your rockers, you got your removal, you even have a cleric and some pivot. But please explain to me, what of this team's killing anything other than toxic spam?
Passimian
Is a
and
revenge
Grandpa.
killer, but you need something to actually hurt them to revenge kill. Empoleon needs setup. Galmais needs setup. Talonflame needs setup.
Mudstale sweep. Body press Mudstale sweep.
So this team in general just dies to haze.
Yeah.
And I think if you're versing a team that can haze while alt stalling you, I literally don't see a comeback potential.
This
So
team
I would
fears
look at that a bit.
Probats,
Yeah.
basically.
Now I would say though that at the very least, all of your mods are viable.
Yeah. Good
But
mons.
you don't have any good high tier mods. Like, I'd suggest maybe switching around some mons to lower tier versions so you can get some threats on this team. Because I'm looking at this team and I go, my average ground type is the winner of this team. Edgequake for the win.
Yeah.
And I'm not scared of anything. Honestly, you know what I'm more scared of anything? Weakness policy. Which
Oh, God.
is which if your strategy is relying on weakness policy, you know there's a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you shouldn't. The other team shouldn't expect weakness.
I mean, look, this team is. I think this team's actually harder to fix because of just how many Pokemon. Like it's a 9-point draft, which then means if you're picking up another Pokemon, like more
You're
than
losing a
what you
very
have,
key component. Yeah.
yeah, you're losing something. It has all the key things that you need. It's just like, why do you have 5 removers when most of them just don't? I don't think they
You've
care.
put the puzzle together. It's just upside down.
Yeah,
basically.
there you go.
It's just upside down. I mean, I guess that's one way to describe it. But yeah, there's not really much else to say against this team. But I would look into what you could downgrade so you could upgrade some things. Upgrades,
Yeah.
people, upgrades. All right, next team.
Next team is the ZZ Zeb Strikers, Xander Zone 24's team.
This man literally just loves the letter Z and then didn't draft a single mon with a Z in it.
That's
dare
crazy.
Actually, cancel that. Weezing has Z.
Oh,
I canceled that.
Nice. Fantastic. We did it. All right, moving.
no, moving
We
on.
did it. All right, next team.
This team is decent.
Honestly, has the same problem as the last team.
Yeah,
Like
that's
just with the only caveat is you do have a couple breakers, but they're all special. Flygon is
Dragon
your
Dance
really
Flygon?
only physical threat. Maybe Drapion. But
Yeah, go with the sniper Drapion build and just get super.
Yo,
lucky.
look, wait, there's
This
2
team is
snipers
just-
on this team.
This team just dies to assault vests.
Yeah.
I mean, this team just doesn't break assault vest at all. Nothing on this team does. It's rough.
You could reversal or circle throw spam with throw.
True.
Nice.
Can
Amazing.
Fiona run Eviolite or no?
No, it does not evolve.
No, because it's not considered the
It's just an
first form
egg.
of mana phase.
Oh, so it's
It-
just a
it-
complete
Fi-
useless.
Yeah, Fiona
Okay.
is just a
It's
meme
just
mon.
a bad. Yeah, it's just bad.
Okay. Just
It's
making
literally just base 80 everything, and it doesn't even get good moves, I don't think.
Sure. It's gotta get like surf,
It's
right?
it's just bad.
Oh, I mean, it gets some moves, but like it's just kind of bad. Yeah, it's actually not as bad as you think it is, but it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad, especially if you already have Inteleon. Why do you have a field?
For a defensive order.
No.
Let's see. This team relies heavily on Diancie to take flying hits, which it can be a problem with flying mons that have steel coverage.
A lot do because
Which Steel Wing is a very prevalent
Right.
Coverage move for it.
Yeah, especially like a physical gut sweller or something with Steel Wing. Yeah, this team's not
Even
living anything.
Crobat's gonna
Or
shred you.
Crobats, or just most flying types just have like the thing is about Diancie is that it doesn't need like the mon who's running Steel Wing doesn't even need to be physical because Steel Wing by itself will at least do 50
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
unless it's physically defensive.
yeah. That's the big problem here. You don't have a good flying resist besides a mon that's 4 times weak to a move that most flying types have. So that's a problem. But it can be fixed. Again, this is an 11 mon team that you could switch some stuff around, and I think could pretty easily fix it.
Yeah, like you honestly like you have the problems that the last team has, but you have the advantage of having more mons to drop, and you have the advantage of already fixing one problem of having at least something to break mons. You
Right.
have an Inteleon, you have a Flygon, they could break if need be, but you need more offensive pressure, and you need to loosen up your loose ends on the bottom end.
I also do not see Ferroseed coming very often, if at all. I feel like
Honestly,
it's so hard
opposite.
to
I
bring
think
it.
Ferocity needs to show up to most matches, and
Well,
it's
that's the
Yeah,
thing.
it's not gonna have fun.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right, let's go on to the next one here. We have the Inverness Bisharp, Ginger Potatoes team.
I thought this team was pretty good.
Okay, why?
I mean, I think this team has more PZ support than the other PZ teams we've evaluated.
Uh, no. Because PZ teams need two things, right? Speed control, or actually, it needs three things: speed control, pivot, and poke. This team lacks in the poke department. It's hazard setter is
Reggie Draco
Dactrio.
can poke. I think Rapidash is a
No,
decent
Reggie
poker,
Draco
too.
gets hardwalled by fairies. Dactrio is your only hazard setter, which means that you have to bring Dactrio out, which doesn't get arena trap, so it gets a wasted ability. It's also your fastest mon. So your fastest mon is your only hazard setter and doesn't have an ability at all. It doesn't really have coverage either.
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
Mhm.
I
I
think
can
a
see
lot of this
Delphox and
team.
Rapidash doing a lot of work, though.
Yeah, I mean, like this team definitely has some like higher points overall.
Mhm.
It's just like you also have to keep in mind that like other like Hitmon top's gonna be pressured to remove hazards 99% of the time because
Yeah.
you're not gonna want to bring Skunk Tank to most matches to defog.
Yeah.
And you have three wish passers for absolutely zero reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you only have using one of them.
Gonna not gonna let you get away with that one. And
Wish and
you have a
Torch.
lot of fast spawns, but not a lot of fast control. Like you don't really have any way for Rapidash to really get in half the time. I mean, other than Vaporeon, you don't really have pivot. Like Token Tomorrow and
Yeah.
Porygon or Vaporeon are really your pivots. And one of them is only 6 speed higher than Porygon, which is not what you wanted. And Vaporeon is probably your best bet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's yeah. Plus, this team doesn't really have a physical breaker. Like Rapidash is your physical breaker, which
Yeah, and that's hard. That's really rough.
it's
I
not
mean, Reggie
reliable.
Draco is not bad, but yeah.
Yes, but once again, it still gets hardwalled by fairies.
Yeah.
The problem with this team is that fairies completely run through it. Like Skuntank's not taking it, and then Togedemaru is not a tank. So it's fairy types are just gonna destroy this
Yeah,
team,
and if
especially
you're
if they have
not
Mystical
preparing
Fire.
against fairy types, what are you doing? I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, like
we
the
have
one
seen some teams
advantage you
without any
have,
fairy.
yeah, the one advantage this team has is that you have one of the better offensive fairies.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of offensive fairies in low tier, but
Mm.
there's also just like a defensive fairy type like just gets free poke on this team too. Which are three wish passers, so I guess it doesn't matter. But
I mean, the biggest thing is though, if your team is weak to fairies and you have a Reggie Drago on your team, what are you doing?
yeah, I honestly that you have the opposite effect. You want fairies to not want to show up to
Right.
games, and your team wants is asking fairies to join games, which
Exactly.
nullifies Regidraco of a pick and nullifies the point,
Yeah.
Basically means Skuntank has to come every game, which is not good.
which it really doesn't want to.
Yeah. And Togedemaru. They both have to come every game, which they don't want.
I feel like this team almost is six-slotted immediately. Doug
Yeah.
Trio with Togedemaru and Skunk Tank. You need if you bring Skunk Tank, you bring Regidraco. And you also
probably
need
bring
you
Rapidash.
to actually bring something of Vaporeon. That's all six.
Yeah,
It means you're
which
never
means you
bringing
can't
Top, you're never bringing Delphox or Guygeist or Rapidash.
Yeah, and you can't even bring PZ.
Yeah,
Like you
Chris
can't bring
Vaughn.
PZ half the time, which literally makes this team do nothing.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
All right. Next team we have is the San Jose Farfetch King. Farfetch's team came in fourth, and let's see.
This team was
wow.
good.
The top four teams were the good teams in this
Yes,
period.
I will
keep
agree.
saying three. I misspoke. It was four. And a lot of people wrote like King for like 5-ish and a little bit, but honestly, I think this team is going to be a little bit underrated. Now, the one big thing for me is that the reason why it's fourth, and I understand that, is because of the Moltres defog. When I was doing things, when I went to look it over again, I realized it only had Moltres, and I was like, oh shit, I would have put this at fourth instead. So, see that second, remove that to four. That would have
Yeah,
been
okay.
it would have been switched around for me. So my third would have been second, and my fourth would have been third. Because that was just something I missed when I was looking at this team, and that happens because this was one of the last tiers. So I was trying to just go fast for the thing. But yeah,
Does Pinsir
this is fourth.
ever show up?
It's got Mold Breaker, so it does show up.
Okay.
It also is one of his best Scarfers.
Sadly.
That's not a good sign.
Well, I didn't say it was the best sign, but I will say that this team does have pretty good offensive pressure. With Toxtricity,
Yes.
Moltres, and Virizion, this team is scary offensively, plus Durant as well sometimes. I will say its defense is lacking, but I think
feel like-
this team, honestly, if it switched out Runerigus and Wigglytuff for a little bit more offensive mons, I think this team would be a really good HO team. Like, this team screams, I want to play HO.
Yeah, that's fair. But if you're up against a good check that throws rocks at you and then just walls up,
Sure.
I
But,
feel
I
like they
mean,
can
the
run you
removal
around
on
the
this team is a
universe.
big problem, and I think
Yeah.
if you got rid of Runerigus and or Wigglytuff, I think you could keep Wigglytuff and just get rid of Runerigus and grab something better. Maybe
Yeah.
draft Pinsir if you need a couple more points, but I think
Some kinda
I think you
spinner
need
or
another
something.
removal of some kind. Like grab like Sandslash, get you
Yeah.
your ground type with some removal, or grab like like something else, right? Because I think you need that, but yeah, overall, I would say this is a fourth place team. Now, there's definitely some weaknesses to this team, but I think
Oh, that's what you do. You
it's
throw
just
out
it's
rocks,
weird, right?
and then you
Yeah, like
predict.
yeah, I think this is the first team where the actual problem for this team is just because they need to switch them on, like just one mod.
Yeah.
Every other team's needed to switch like half their team. This team needs to only
Yeah.
switch one, maybe
I got it
drop a
though.
second one for points.
You throw out rocks, you predict them to switch into their remover, and then you switch in Ditto, and you copy their remover.
Exactly.
Oh, there
Bro,
you
that's the
go.
thing about. That's why. Okay, Ditto is only viable on HO teams. Period. And this team screams HO, and it brought Ditto. So I'm like, good for you. You know how to play Ditto. You play Ditto on teams that just go burr. So I expect this team to just click buttons. I really hope, because I know King is like a decent, like he played a weird team last season, but overall I think King could really easily have an interesting time if he just clicked buttons on every turn, which sounds really like basic, but he doesn't really need to think
Toxtricity
for a
loves to
lot of
click
what he's
buttons.
doing. He just needs to click buttons on this team. This is an HO team. Get rid of Rodriguez. It's way too passive and doesn't do what you want it to do. Grab like Sandslash or another removal, and you're fine.
All right.
Honestly, that's all you need.
All right. So I think. See, this is what I think happened. Okay, DDA saw Virizion and was like, "All right, put it second at least."
There was the Frisian team, and I think it was what was it? It was either I think it was Larion that I drafted. Like it was like pretty fucking low.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, honestly,
It's not Breloom.
yeah. At least it's not. It's actually better. Sadly. So
True.
I think that this team is pretty strong. The problem is I feel like I look at Toxtricity, Moltres, and then boom, I get like an instant flashback from last season. We're like, oh god, okay, how many 4x weaknesses we got? We got 4 on this team, and like it stresses me out. But I do think Ditto is really good on this team. You already have a normal type, so obviously you're not drafting Ditto for being a normal type. It fits on this team really well. And I would recommend obviously finding another remover because you don't want to run defog on Moltres literally every game.
True. And also looking at this team, yeah, it does have 5 4x weaknesses. It has Toxtricity, Moltres, Virizion, Malamar, and Durant. So like that is like a good thing to look at. Honestly, draft Durant and Runerigus, get some removal, get a better steel type, you're good. And this team is deserving of its spot in top 4.
Nice.
All right, and top 3 time. Here we go. We got Artilleries. Flint loses team. How do you say that?
This team is just
Flint
beautiful.
yeah.
This is a purdy team.
It's
This
very
team,
pretty.
this team does look very nice. Dredagon's
This is
great,
pretty.
Crobat's great, Serena's great, Gardevoir's great,
Oh, so
Embor's
many
great,
colors.
Steelix's great, Benefi's great. Everything's just good.
It's a purdy team.
Here we go. All right, next team. No.
Honestly, the next 3 teams, you're just gonna hear me say that's a purdy team.
Like really, well, that's the thing. Like, there's not too except for the Clan Pro, but whatever. That's just your remaining points. Like, there's nothing.
Clan Pro with the fucking the items where it doubles its special defense or doubles its special attack. Why in the world can it hit that hard? Like what? Do you like what?
Wait, what does its special attack go to with the
Its
double?
special attack is base 74,
It
but
goes like-
with Deep Tooth, it
That's
doubles its missile
148?
attack.
It goes to like
No,
1,000.
no, no. It goes to 74. So it could go. It
Oh,
goes
it
up
goes
so high for no reason. You could put a focus sash on
Oh, it
this
doubles
thing.
No, you
the
can't put a
end
focus sash.
value, not the base?
Yeah, and this mon gets shell smash. So you go max speed, focus sash with shell smash.
You can't go
and you actually
focus
do
sash.
things.
You can't focus sash
Yeah.
and put the tooth on.
Yeah, you can't.
You're right. Never
Only
mind.
a head sturdy.
But yeah, I know, right?
It
But,
can
like,
still come in on water types though.
like
So
low key though, like at max HP though, because it does have a base 85 defense. So as long as it resists,
What if
and it's a defense type.
what if you run Hail, Aurora Veil, Frostlash?
I mean,
no.
I mean,
Oh,
but like all like jokes aside, the only reason this team is probably lower is because of the fact that Crobat and Serena are gonna tag team each other for removal for
Yep.
which one's actually doing it, and the fact that this team does sadly suffer from a weird drop from 100 to 80, and that's about it.
So I do want to mention, before I swapped up my team, this team had 5 Pokemon of the same mons: Manaphy, Gardevoir, Emboar, Serena, and Frostlass. And I'm like, okay, why are you're literally taking all of my Pokemon during the draft. I was like, what's going on?
I
But-
mean, hey, if this is what you draft, you would have had a good team.
Well, the thing was,
Oh.
yeah, obviously, I mean, I couldn't get Steelix because that was taken extremely fast, I think, by Burger, and Crobat was gone. But yeah, it was very similar. I will say that the team is a little reliant on what was it? Oh, I had one thing. Oh yeah, it doesn't have a lot of pivot, so that could be something to look at.
Pivot?
Well,
Well,
Gardevoir,
When is
really.
Gardevoir gonna
Gardevoir's not really
Gardevoir's not
so it's got 3
pivoting.
mods that are they're pivotable. I
Yeah.
mean, you got like what? You got one super fast, one medium fast, and one kind of slow. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Honestly, I put him second, so that, I mean, besides, now I think the next team I put first, I would like to talk about them first, but yeah.
You
All
could
right.
totally talk about them. First.
I mean, I put them first too. So
Oh
I
shit.
mean, you two are the only two that thought it was first. I thought I would have. I really want to switch the two of them. I want to switch this next one with the Kings team. So I would have put second.
Ah.
Just flip flop those two.
All right. Well, the next one we have here is the Delta Ducks.
All right, so
So
take it away.
So, I saw this team and I'm like, this is the best terrain team that I've seen. Like, I don't think I've seen a better terrain team, ever. Sorry, Galaxy, but
hey,
I like
that's
to
all right.
say-
4 of
Yeah,
those
this
mons
is
are gonna be
good.
basically mine.
well, that's the thing. So, while we were talking, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so having a water immune to electric is what you want. Then you have a grass type that can beat other grass types, which again is what you want for electric terrain team. And then you have random Aerodactyl and Blaziken, which actually work out really well because they just break physically for this team, which everything else can break, especially Roserade and Alolan Raichu. You have the Comfy that is really good, just in general. Comfy's just a good mon. And then Avalugg, which is a very
Avalugg is
reliant
Fantastic on this
defensive mon.
team.
So honestly, everything fits so well. And then Galaxy, you want to say why?
Yeah, I think Avalugg is really really good on this team, and I look at it and I'm just like, I should have picked Avalugg because like it's so bulky. It has rapid spin.
Oh, it's
And-
physically bulky.
and
It
ice
dives
type-
to a ember.
I look, all right, fair, but like ice. The more I look at it, the more valuable ice becomes in these drafts because
Offensively.
like, yeah, and
And
that's
low
I mean,
tier
and that is
specifically, rock, flying, and ice are your
Yeah,
like
because
peaks.
I look at people's weaknesses and it's just like, okay, ice is like decent, and then you count freeze dry, and then they're super weak to ice. So stuff like that is just really important to keep in mind. But yeah, I think EXO really nailed it. A lot of those mons. I mean, Roserade's fantastic, especially on this team. It just shreds through other grass types with poison. Seismitoad's a great pick there. The only thing better would be Swampert, but you don't have points for that. I don't know too much about the Fortress, but this could just be. I just think I hate Fortress. I
Fair.
think that's
You
what
just
I.
have a thing against Fortress, yeah.
Fortress
To
is
be
kind of
fair, I have a
random.
thing against Caparaja, so it makes sense.
Yeah. I just hate like Shuckle and Fortress. I just feel like they're so useless.
They have their niches.
But yeah.
They're pretty one dimensional, but they have their niches.
Yeah. And
The
somehow
reason
the fact
why go ahead.
I was gonna say somehow you have this core of things supporting Raichu, and you still were able to pick up Blaziken. Like what the
Yeah.
heck?
Yeah, I think that I think one good thing about that is because the terrain in low tier for some reason is super cheap. I think another thing about this team as well is just that the reason why it's that number one for me is that this team can't really switch in to fire types at all. Seismitoad is the only one, and Seismitoad doesn't have recovery. So,
Yeah, if
and
it gets chipped
this team
down, yeah.
doesn't have a reliable Wish Passer either. So, and I think a lot of these walls are gonna have a problem with recovery. I mean, Avalog's got recover, but it's going to not live a special attack, period. So, I think this team is biggest problem is the fact that it's going to struggle with keeping its tanks alive. This team is always going to be on a timer. And I think that is the one thing that can push it away from first, and that is for me what did it.
Okay, fair. All right.
That's fair. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Final.
And actually,
And
looking
then the
at
best
this,
team.
it does the second place team. It does remind me of the changes that we talked about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yeah, a little
how to
bit,
fix
right?
Galaxy team, and then this team went, all right, I'm gonna do that, but a little bit different.
Yeah, right.
all right, let's get to the next one here, and which is the first place team.
Oh
The
man, this team is
Beautiful.
so good.
yep, Creolix's
Every
team.
mon except for Pineco, which is like a level, like what is it, like a 0.1 or 0.2 mon?
It's like a 1 point mon,
Yeah,
yeah.
one.
Yeah, so like that was just I had an extra point. I'll throw something on there, right?
How good is
Which, to be
Stunfisk?
fair,
Actually?
does give him a niche T spikes if he really wants it. But
How
like,
good is Stunfisk?
holy
I'll
sh-
put a link. I'll put the link in the description below. I'll put a I'll put everything here. Don't worry about it. Okay.
All right.
this team, like literally, the only problem is that if it had a better ground type, but like Sunfisk is still decent. Like it's not the best, but it's usable, right? Every single mod on this team is just like good. You have Feraligatr to break. You have Noivern that's scary. Decidueye is both good defensively and offensively. Slurpuff can sweep teams or Wish Pass. Both are extremely viable. Bronzong is a dick to break. Magmortar hits harder than you think. Persian Alola is a fast
Magmortar's
pain in the
great.
ass. And Primate makes you not want to defog all those hazards.
I was trying to
Away.
convince EXO how good Magmortar was for a little while in the beginning
Magmortar's
of the
biggest
draft.
problem is
It's
that
so
it's an
good.
83 base mon, but it hits hard.
It is good. I will
Yeah.
say that.
I feel
Definitely
like
the better of the Gen
I feel like this
4
team is easily gonna throw rocks down and then just U-turn the game away and just
Yeah,
win.
honestly, like low key, I think Eviolite Pineco might actually come to a game or two just to hazard stack even more.
Yeah, because
Like if they
I
don't
feel
have
like
a
this
grounded poison
team's gonna,
type and he can get away with it, he might just go Eviolite Pineco to start.
and then you just suddenly Primate Defiant the defog and win.
Yeah, literally
Yep.
because of webs too. Like you can have it to where webs plus defog. So not only are they -1 speed when they came in, they also just gave you a +2. So
Yeah.
now you're guaranteed faster, and you're a +2.
No, you just run sturdy pain split level 1 Pineco.
I mean,
I
that
mean,
honestly, that's another thing you can do, and now you got to prep for that.
Yep.
This is amazing team.
this team
Bravo.
would probably be #1 in Lairon too.
This okay, yeah. To be fair, well, okay. Number one in Laron was okay. Yeah, Laron. I think this would beat. I think Laron. Most of Laron would beat the entire division of Aron except for this one. This one would still be a top team in Laron, and then I think Laron kind of falls under to the top teams of Aggron and Mega Aggron. But yeah, but this shows me that either one of two things: either A, you don't deserve to be an Aron, you should be higher, or B, someone helped you, and dear God, they continue to help you because they know what they're doing. I don't know which it is, but bravo.
All right.
Yeah. And that is it for the Aron post power rankings. So there won't be any videos, at least for post power rankings anymore. And yeah, I guess honestly that is it. Do you guys want to say anything?
Thanks for having me on. I learned a lot. DDA knows his stuff. Listen to him, please, so that you get better. Especially these Aron people. Like, honestly, listen to his advice. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I might be a dick, but I mean, if you ask me for help, I've never really turned anyone down unless you're an ass. But no one is, at least that's what I've seen here. So I will definitely help you.
There's a reason he's customer service, folks.
I am definitely customer service for a reason. If you guys are looking for another content creator other than EXO during this league, I will be recording my games for Mega Aggron, and I will be giving analysis during them as well, so you
Oh
can
yeah,
learn
I love
certain
that
tricks.
stuff.
So if you like have some like problems like for team building and stuff, I will be giving team building help and stuff like that. So go ahead and check in. YouTube is the same thing as my Discord, Daddy Darkora.
Yep, I'll leave a link in the description as well for your channel as well.
Sounds good.
Sweet.
All right, and yeah, we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye bye.